Thank you very much. Again, I want to welcome everybody to this very interesting, webinar. We have some fantastic panelists. What I mean by that is some really experienced, stalwarts of the industry who come and are, graciously offering their time and in what promises to be a very insightful discussion. So the topic, of course, today, that we're going to talk about is really talk about the jewelry industry in particular, within the retail segment. We will touch upon various aspects in terms of, the industry itself. What are some trends that we see in the industry? And of course, in general, what are some challenges that the industry players see? But also we'll delve into other topics such as, use of technology and, helping to improve customer experience and service, and how do we actually deliver a better level of service which is more personalized to the consumers who are shopping at these brands, right? And I just wanted to set that context. This is going to be a free flowing discussion rather than a Q&A kind of a format, so I really look forward to interacting with all of you. Let me just start with the first question, and I will address it to our panelists. Feel free to please, quickly introduce yourself before, responding to my question. I wanted to start out at a very high level, right? At a very macro level, where do you see, retail in general? We've just completed our general elections. There is obviously a lot of uncertainty in the sort of the macroeconomic climate, at least, in the neighborhood that we live in, right? We all know what's happening in Bangladesh, and in the Middle East. There is the conflict of Russia, Ukraine that's still happening, and then suddenly I hear about this thing called mpox, and I think India already has raised the alert at various airports. So just at a very high level, if I may come to you, Mr. Gopa Kumar, what do you see as at a high level in the industry? What are some trends that you're seeing for yourself?
Have you addressed that to me?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I lost you for a bit there. I think the internet is a bit wonky. So yeah, namaskar and good afternoon. Good to be here at this RAI event as always. So I'm Gopa Kumar. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Bhima Jewels, and we are based headquartered out of Cochin. We operate predominantly in South India. Large format jewelry stores is what we do. So for us, I think if you look back and reflect on post-COVID, what came through in terms of the agenda has been to expand and really look at getting the right properties, getting the right markets, and expand in a way which is very strategic. At the same time, we don't spread ourselves thin. I think there's a huge market in the South. The focus was that we consolidate in the South and really move forward. So we've stuck to that. Set up a pipeline of stores and kind of expanded, and we are kind of now leveraging that and scaling it up in a much faster clip. As for the macroeconomic scenario and industry is concerned, I think over the quarter four and before that, the gold rates really shot up a lot, right? And so we saw some muted demand. Getting into Akshaya Tritiya also, I think overall it was kind of flat for like same store growth in that sense. But post that, I think in the last quarter or so, we are seeing good demand come into the market. The kind of trends that we are spotting is that consumer is definitely moving more towards lighter weight, low weight kind of ornaments. Affordability is very important. At the same time, we are seeing a lot of shift that is happening from the unorganized trade to the organized trade in that sense. And we're also seeing the small jewelers really organizing themselves in a much better way, right? So we see that a lot in Kerala, we see that a lot in Andhra and Telangana and all of that. So that's also happening. I think price point is very critical. For us, the key is to get the wedding jewelry. That's what we target, and really get the whole customer life cycle. And a lot of digital influencers are coming through. I think we will talk about it more as we go along.
Sure.
So all in all, right now, touch wood, the trend looks good. Business is definitely looking up, and good double-digit growth is what we're experiencing. Hopefully, this continues into the festive season, Onam, and then Diwali, Dasra, and That's what is happening. And the other one thing is that there's a lot of movement towards studded jewelry that is happening, which is good for the margins. So how do we build on it? How do we scale that up? Those are the kind of areas that we are seeing and working on.
Great. Thanks for that, Kumar. So I'll just pick up on one of the points that you said and maybe address this to Suraj, if I may. You talked about this trend of people preferring lighter jewelry, right? Which I'm assuming also could be affordable in some cases, but not necessarily affordable. But I'm assuming this is more from a everyday use kind of a perspective, right? So Suraj, do you also see these kinds of trends from your perspective? And what are you doing to address these expectations that consumers seem to have? Because I'm sure Bhima is doing this because they've seen some signals and they want to address it. I just wanted to get your take on how do you see this panning out?
Thank you, Sridhar, and it's nice to connect and interact with everyone. Always a pleasure to join on RAI platforms. So just a quick introduction. I'm Suraj, Director of Business Strategy at Kirtilals. We are an 85-year-old third generation jewelry manufacturing and retail brand. We have a retail presence of 13 stores across South India, as well as a retail presence out of the US. And we have our in-house manufacturing and diamond sourcing, cutting and polishing as well. So it's a vertically integrated approach focused on the diamonds. So one of the unique things of our business is that we are also more skewed towards diamond jewelry in our turnover mix. About 65-70% of our turnover is on diamonds and diamond jewelry. So coming to Mr. Sridhar's point on the lightweight jewelry and this sort of trend, I think we very much do see a similar pattern emerging on the diamond side of things as well. So one of the things that we have done is we did not want to disturb the positioning strategy of our Kirtilals brand, where Kirtilals brand is known more for the quality and for especially in the diamonds, we've been always there with the higher kind of diamond qualities that are there. And sometimes we found that customers were, in the market also, we could see that the pricing was kind of changing a bit with the diamond qualities and everything getting changed to meet certain price points. So what we did as a strategy is that we have gone for a new brand, which is under the umbrella of Kirtilals called Glow by Kirtilals. So this is a brand that we've started for about a year or so now. And, we have a retail presence of around 3 outlets as well as the online presence. So here we wanted to go for more the daily wear, more probably, addressing the, I would say like a non-bridal kind of a segment of customers. So, there again, we want to go for a pan-India strategy wherein, we'll be catering to probably the specific price points and design styles for everyday wear. And we see that there's a pretty good demand that's been there in the market as well recently. And customer segments are getting more and more clearly defined. So, we thought we can go for such an approach.
Great. Thanks for that. And, and again, I'll hold on to this point, because I have other things to ask. But customer segmentation is something that I want to delve into a little later on, because I'm really curious as to how you do it and what tools you use. But before we go there, I'm going to go to Amit ji. Sir, I want to ask you. So we talked about some trends, but what are some challenges that you see as an industry in general? Are there any headwinds, or is India still isolated? Do we see robust consumer demand? As we've been speaking, looks like the sort of the middle half of the year has been relatively good, even though we may have had a slow start. But what are you think some challenges that we should anticipate, in general as a whole? What are your views on that?
Main challenge is the price point. Price point for the gold per gram. Few months back, it was somewhere 5,500 to 6,000 rupees per gram. which is moved almost to 7,000 rupees per gram. There is a 15% approximate higher price is required to be paid in few months of time, even after the reduction in the import duty. When import duty is reduced by 9%, we are paying today 72,000 rupees per 10 gram. What could be if it would have been 15% as it is? It would have been 78,000 or 7,800 rupees per gram. So that per gram price point is very sensitive, as Bhima is sir, Gopa Kumar sir says, that lightweight jewelry is a very necessary for catering the people. Because I always say pocket size is not going to increase. Pocket size is going to remain same. And for same pocket size, I need to cater the customer with his satisfaction. Then I need to either enter in the lightweight or I need to enter into lower caratage like 18 carat, 14 carat or 9 carat. 9 carat is not still approved by the government. It is a need of the time. Government should approve that 9 carat jewelry because in Europe, US, 9 carat is a regular thing. Because if you see exactly 9 carat calculation, it comes to around 30,000 rupees per 10 gram. That is what it was 5-6 years back. And so people can have 10 gram ornament of 9 carat, which will have buyback value also. And if it is a hallmark, there will be no uncertainty whether that contains really 9 carat gold or not. So that is a time requirement that government needs to address. And that price point is very sensitive. Secondly, the compliance side, that 50,000, 2 lakh, and then 9,000, a number of parameters are there. If I want to buy gold against the across the counter, I cannot pay more than 9,999. If I want to sell, I cannot sell beyond 2 lakh rupees in the cash, irrespective whether I am having KYC, full KYC. On 50,000 onward, I need to collect entire KYC. So at this 70,000 rupees or 75,000 rupees price point, even that 757 gram ornament person need to give me entire KYC, and he is hesitant to, because if somebody comes on the Raksha Bandhan day for buying some lightweight chain or some small finger ring for gifting to his sister, and if I start asking him complete the KYC and all these norms, and then I will sell it to you, it will be annoying him. Means he gets annoyed with the thing. Oh, I'm there to celebrate the festival, and you are asking me a number of questions. What's of use? I have got money. I am not a thief. So he start telling me everything, but government is asking me to do everything which is not accepted by the customer. Secondly, 70% plus people in India are financially illiterate. So they don't understand PML and KYC and photo ID proof and address proof and all these things. So they get annoyed with all these things. If you go to other areas, they are not carrying their PAN card or Aadhaar card along with them. They will be carrying 1.5 lakh रुपए ले लो और मुझे ज्वेलरी दे दो. They are not understanding the consequences for me as well as compliances required from their side or my side. So I request government to create some KYC norms which will issue just like a Aadhaar card, one KYC card to every person in India, so that by just giving that KYC card, entire thing will be completed. What is his bank account? What is his PAN account? What is his residence address? What is his Aadhaar number? Everything will be there in that KYC card. And I will ask only that KYC card. So my nuisance to that person will go on decreasing.
Reduce.
So government, when introducing new things for the compliance, they should introduce new compliance facilities also. That is my thinking. And we are catering to the 30 locations in Maharashtra. We are single largest jeweler in the Maharashtra, having top line of almost 4,000 crore in jewelry. And we are 190-year-old legacy for our brand. So we are taking as much as efforts not to hurt to the customer, but at the same time, we need to comply with the government also.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your views. And this is again exactly what we want to hear from like an industry insider, if I may use the word, because these are things that only you guys can, articulate, and not somebody from the outside, right? So this is really good information. Are there any other views on that, or any other challenges that come to your mind, maybe specifically from your perspective? I mean, anybody on the panel, including Pooraan, anything that you guys want to add to that?
I think I would like to add with what Mr. Amit said.
Yeah.
Customer, jewelry customer. If you ask me, people come with a lot of liberty and proud, like pride. I would not proud, pride. Like I have money and I have an
Yeah.
ability to buy. Why the hell is the person is asking sitting next to me is asking so many questions? He is there in the business to sell do the business. He is asking money which I'm ready to give. The documentation, everything which is compliance, what we say, that I think yes, all organized jewelry are facing. Okay, unorganized jewelry I have not heard of it because I fortunately I have few friend circle who is into organized unorganized jewelry who got 4 5 shops. Okay, for them the compliance it doesn't matter, so they are happy to take cash and deal in the cash. Obviously the purity and everything which we all jewelers understand how they play with the purity, but that's where the customer is getting irritated. It's like a lot of cases which I have personally seen on the cash counter where I keep visiting stores. Like, why are you asking so many details? You don't trust us, then you stop doing that. And when you talk about government is asking all these things, customer is not aware of this thing first thing, and customer is not even bothered about these things. It's like, boss, I'm here to pay the money. You take the money, you give me jewelry. All this compliance and everything, that's your problem. So yes, this is something which we are facing. A lot of jewelers are facing the problem. And customers, if you see the feedback which we get on the website, on social media, they may not directly talk about all these issues, but they come like your cash counter, your billing takes time. Now, when somebody says billing takes time, it's not something which a biller is taking time. It's something which are the processes which we have to follow. It's not simply just like we go to ice cream shop and you pay the money and take the ice cream and go out of the shop. There are a lot of formalities we have to do because it's first is a high value item. You have to be very careful because even as a retailer we cannot take chances. You have to make sure that the hallmarking is there. We have to make sure the weight is proper. We have to make sure whatever is mentioned in the invoice is matching with what we are giving to a customer. So because one bad customer may take us 10 customers from us or maybe 100 customers from us. So yes, obviously, I would like to add a technology angle over here. There are a lot of places where we have incorporated technology to automate few things. But obviously, end of the day, unless we get a KYC documents or information from customer, it becomes difficult for even technology to
Yeah.
help it out.
Yeah.
Yes, Amit
So Pooraan, actually, that's a good point. Sorry, was somebody saying something?
Amit is saying something.
Yeah, Amit, yeah, please go ahead.
Uh, Many customers, just like this KYC, in our business, there is a one major problem regarding the third party payments also. बहुत बार सास बहू का कार्ड लेके आती है, बहू सास का कार्ड लेके आती है, क्रेडिट कार्ड. When we deny them to accept that card unless that person is present, they feel like something insulted. अरे मैं मेरे हस्बैंड का कार्ड लेके आई और आप मुझे नहीं दे रहे. What hell is going on? My husband is not objecting. You are objecting to accept my card. He is ready to give me card freely for free use. All these things needs to be addressed somewhere, or at least that literacy should be created. Just like you are creating literacy on the public domain, don't share OTP.
Yeah.
So you should create that literacy on the public domain. Don't force others to accept third-party payment. Don't
Exactly.
use credit card or the checkbook or bank payment or UPI for making payment when you are present and that concerned person is not present. So that literacy government should create awareness, and then they should ask us not to go for such thing. Because just like sir said, it's a very difficult thing. If he is saying take money and give me the article, because I am there to sell, I should not ask many questions to him. Who are you and what are your relation? आप दोनों साथ आ रहे, मियाँ बीवी है क्या, friends है? I should not ask. I should take the payment and deliver the goods. That is their expectation, but I am limited with the government's norms. So government should give some solution to it.
No, so I'll add
Okay.
to Amit. I just want to add a last point over here. So being in the industry for more than 10 years, I've seen that yes, we all understand customer sentiment and everything, but there are cases where I've personally seen that customer had doing the fraud. Like I have taken my husband's card, but there may be a stolen card also. So as a retailer, it becomes very difficult for us because end of the day, we see the law what we have in India, and especially in India, I would say. I don't know about other countries. It is the retailer who has become liable because you have done transaction. I understand as a retailer we cannot check each and everything, but government says like you have sold it, so it is chori ka maal bechna and kharidna is like, that's what they say. So that's where we get stuck. Obviously, again, since I'm coming from technology background, I keep adding the tech solutions to all the problems. That's where we have started with something called OTP and everything. A lot of verification things are there, online verifications are there. I think these are things which can help us.
So Puran, let's stay on the topic, and I was going to come to you anyway. So this is a more of a technology related question. Obviously, technology can play a role in pretty much every part of the organization, right? Online platforms are essentially a technology tool or a solution. In-store clienteling is another example, and there could be lots of other ways, right? From being a CRM to a data platform and so on and so forth, analytics. Today, I can't imagine any organization being run without looking at insights from the analytics and the other data that they collect through point of sale transactions and a lot of other means, right? But I specifically want to focus on something that I think Gopa Kumar brought up, which is customer segmentation, right? Or understanding who prefers, like for example, if you take the example of who prefers lighter jewelry, right? Let's say you have 100 customers in your overall customer base, but I'm assuming that not all 100 customers are going to be wanting that lighter jewelry or preferring that kind of jewelry, right? They may be 10%, 20%, I don't know. So how do we use, or how do you view technology as being a tool in helping all of us to narrow down who is my sort of real audience, so to speak? Let's say if I come up with a product, how do I know whom to market that to, right? So what are your views on that? And I would like to open it up to others as well, plus. But please go ahead, Puran.
Sridhar, as I said, being a technology person, and I've been in the industry for more than 25 years, I have worked very closely with retailers and their data. What I understood, okay, over a period of time, in fact, in last decade or so, if you ask, like, as Hitesh also said that, I'm very clear on what I'm doing and how I'm looking at the data. I keep telling people like data is oil, which I think this term was coined in the when Geo was launched, Geo and versus mirror image of oil. So if you see, obviously we are also highly relying on data. What I understand, all the panelists sitting over here, they must be having enough information about the customer. Okay, when I say enough information, I'm not talking about personal information, because that is something which is confidential. I don't want to touch that personal information on customer. I focus more on customer buying pattern. I focus more on the customer sentiments. I focus more on what customer is talking, liking, or viewing across the social media, which is open to all of us. There are cases where you can link with Facebook, Instagram. There are social media influencers which play a wider role. Today I cannot imagine a social media influence without a day without social media's interaction, social media influential interaction. If you ask me 5 years before, there was no social media influencer, but now we heavily rely on social media influencer. Each social media influencer has a catered to different kind of TG, right? It's a target group. Okay, there are customers who likes to have a lightweight jewelry. Those are I call as the office goers who like to keep changing, working on the fashions. They want new designs and they don't want to invest more, because if you understand females, being married 25 more than 25 years, I understand my wife's like, if I have to go to marriage and everything, I would like to wear heavy jewelry, because that is something what customers think, like if I'm wearing heavy jewelry, it is I'm wealthy. Okay, that is a different competition. If they're going to offices, they want to keep changing the fashion because they want to showcase like, look, I'm fashion oriented person. So at times you let customer who are only buying in heavy jewelry, which is high value item. There are customers who will go for only lightweight or small ticket size. So that is where it is important to understand how your customer buying pattern is, and obviously your CRM helps it out. If you don't have CRM, obviously you will not get a holistic approach. Like a lot of customers, what a lot of retailers have told me, they have billing software and they get to know, okay, what is their purchase history. They can easily make out what. No, I would suggest no. That is not the only info. That is just 25% of the customer information. You have to interact with the customer. There are cases when customers walk into your store, they talk, they inquire. There are times when there are walkout of the customer because they walk into a store thinking of buying something which is may not be available in that store. That walkout information also has to be captured. So a customer to understand the whole customer journey, you need to have at least a year or 2 years data to understand customer. Just by one purchase, you cannot understand. So obviously, to store that data, compile this data, analyze the data, you require a good CRM, and that's what I focus more and more.
Great, great. Thanks, Pooraan. So, Suraj, what are your views on this? I mean, how do you view technology as being an aid to kind of understand your consumers better at a very high level, but more specifically to figure out there is some part of your customer base that prefers brand X or category X versus somebody else who may prefer more traditional jewelry, as an example, right? So how do you kind of discern the different segments of customers?
No, so Sridhar, I think on our end, our entire approach itself is more on personalization and more on customization. So we have been working a lot in terms of, as I think few of the colleagues had shared, tracking and aligning the product and the customer fitment is not as straightforward a journey in the jewelry side of things compared to your your other retail segments. So I would say that we have to do the best possible with the percentage of the customer base that we are able to cover in that, and then probably work on a 20/80 kind of a ratio where we are able to capture the larger revenue segment of the business. And what we do is we actually have made some innovations both in store in terms of the customer experience as well as on the technology side. So we keep some special jewelry trays on the retail floor. So when a customer is browsing in the store, then they shortlist some items that they like. So then we take those items and we place it on that tray for the customer to view and shortlist again. So that is linked then to the CRM. So that way then we are able to like Mr. Pooraan was saying, we have to understand over a few months or a year or so in terms of what the customer likes. So then the salesperson has that as a reference base for them when the customer walks in next. So then they can kind of offer that personalization to the customer, that madam, when you came last time, you liked this design, so I've got something similar for you this time. So things like that way, I think we have been able to work on it. And the biggest thing is we have to create a strong tech backbone in the company, both in terms of the probably the different functions, specifically merchandising and sales, and at the same time how we are able to bring in the customer insights into that, the customer behavior, the customer preferences. So we've also worked on creating a database of all our designs in-house. So that is readily available across all the stores for the customer to see.
Okay, that's very interesting, Suraj. Thank you very much. Mr. Gopakumar, so just again picking up on something Suraj said, in terms of driving those insights, understanding those buying patterns, if you will, or understanding the journey towards making a decision to ultimately purchase or not purchase. How does that pan out in your scenario? I mean, what tools do you use? Just give us a sense of how you go about doing that.
Right. So for us, I think just diving straight into it, we kind of divide the whole, or compartmentalize the whole purchase journey into 3 large buckets, right? The first thing is the whole pre-purchase piece that needs to be put in place. Consumers today explore, go online, check on referrals, check Google, reviews and things like that, right? So all of that is one part of the whole, piece of the pre-purchase journey. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, okay. I can hear you. Yeah.
And the second part is in terms of what really happens at the store, right?
Yeah.
So, what is the meaningful and relevant technologies that you have in place in store, and technology being an enabler for that transaction. At the end of the day, if you can have a good smooth checkout and the items are scanning well and the discount modules or the pricing promotion modules are working very well, then that is a great seamless experience which is there. Bear in mind that unlike other shopping formats like grocery or fashion, the consumer spends a lot of time in our store. Right? It's a 1 hour, 1.5 hour kind of an experience, even to buy a small earring or bangle, and they try out so many designs before they kind of zero down on what they really want, and they do video calling there, they call up their friends, and I see that trend a lot happening in Andhra, Telangana, Hyderabad. There are a lot of influencers there, right? So that's really what happens to the store. And then finally, most important, I think, is the post-purchase, probably there could be some dissonance that could creep in. That did I buy the right product? Did I buy the right weight? Did I pay, the right kind of making charges? So all of this, these are three places where we meaningfully deploy technology, right?
Okay.
So as far as the pre-purchase journey is concerned, we use a lot of digital means. We reach out to consumers in a very segmented kind of a way. We use WhatsApp. We use accessibility to ask us queries, whatever it is, from locations to promotions running in the store, whatever that you want, what kind of assortment we are carrying, all of that, so that the consumer comes in. Also, we offer a personal shopper service digitally, which you could kind of enroll onto, and there's a personal shopper, a highly skilled salesperson who would meet you. And just to give you numbers, typically the ticket size, an average ticket size, is 70,000-80,000 rupees. With a personal shopper service, it would go up between 3 to 4 times, right? So, that's the kind of level of interaction that could happen at the store. And then we have augmented reality, which is there at all our newly fitted out stores. So consumers could try out hundreds and thousands of designs, or, so do a shortlisting, because, wearing earring, removing it is a very cumbersome job, necklace and all of these things. So we have deployed all of it. We see good result out of all of this. And very importantly, we focus on one number, which is the post-purchase number, which is the NPS that we follow. So we enjoy an NPS of 96 currently at our stores, and that is our key KRA. Wherever the NPS is, I see that every basis point where the NPS goes up, the store is more profitable and more customer-centric. And, we listen to these consumer insights, and then we, work out our assortment accordingly. As for the business part is concerned, I think the other number that we look at is stock turns. That is one number religiously. Sales is only a byproduct. What is your stock turn? Because see, the weight, like I said earlier, is reducing, and customers' shopping occasions are increasing. If you have more lightweight, and 60% of the business comes from bangles and chains and all these studs and all of these things, right? So that's where the assortment needs to have the footfall driving mechanics which are there. So when we do all of this, we look at the stock turn, what is it that the consumer, and repeat purchases. So we track these numbers, and we see customers who are not shopping with us for the last 2 years or so. We go all out to them with a message to just get them once more into our stores, like a lost customer win back program. That does great results. Very low cost. You can send out an SMS or a RCS today. A rich communication is really come out very well. So we use technology to segment consumers to come back to us as 10 paise, 20 paise just cost, as well as WhatsApp can cost you 80 paise for a promotional message or so. But there are low cost mediums to reach out to consumers and get them to come back and shop with you, and then you track the business, right? And you can have the real conversation with the consumer, and then get them onto the NPS module. So we do all of it. So we use technology for assortment planning. For each of our stores, assortment is very different. We use it religiously for consumer feedback and tracking mechanism with a strong call center background here. So all of this we do to ensure that the business growth, like-for-like growth, really goes up. So are we there? I think there's lots to be done in terms of the CRM space, the loyalty space. We are working on all of it. We've just stabilized and set up our entire ERP to get data. And I think the challenge that I have is now so much of data. How do I organize it in a very good way and layer it up to get out meaningful, relevant results for the organization? I guess everybody will.
Yeah, no, I think that was really helpful. And I really found the point about reaching out to dormant customers, very interesting. They might have, stopped shopping for whatever reason. And I think it's good to not ignore them, but rather reach out to them, and maybe entice them for one last time to come back into the store and see what they've been missing, right? So I think that's a very smart thing that they're doing. But again, very insightful things you've shared. But again, I want to pick up on two things that you said. One is, of course, the loyalty program, right? And again, I have mixed opinions about it, but again, I want to hear you folks talk about it, and maybe Pooraan and Amit ji as well. First of all, does a loyalty program really make customers, loyal, or what does one need to do to really, make customers, come back? Like Gopa Kumar was saying, how do we, get that repeat purchasing going on? And again, of course, jewelry is not something that you go out and buy, every other week or every other month even. Most people probably buy maybe once a year, and even that might be, too much for some people, right? Maybe they buy for a big occasion like a wedding or an engagement or something. Um, so if that is the sort of the average purchase frequency, what would a loyalty program really do? I'm just kind of curious, and I've heard, and seen, some programs being successful, others not so much, and I think loyalty programs themselves, are evolving, in the industry, moving away from a more, points based. You buy something, I give you some points, and then you accumulate them, and then you redeem them. But I think that old model is kind of going away, and I think customers expect to be rewarded on a lot of other aspects of their lifestyle, which they value a lot more than just simple points, right? So I just want to hear, Puran, is this something that you come across? Are you trying this in your own, brand? And maybe Amit ji, you can comment on that as well if you want to. I think Puran, you're on mute, or at least I'm not able to hear you. Yeah.
No. So Sridhar, as I rightly said, tech is evolving a lot. Okay. As you said, tech is also evolving. At the same time, if you ask me about loyalty programs, I have worked in various other retail sectors. I've been into fashion, I've been into FMCG, I've been into online sector. So yes, loyalty program, the way it used to work long back, it is not working the way it used to work before. Okay, coming back to jewelry, if you ask me, loyalty programs in jewelry is not that working at all. What I've seen, my peers can differ on that. Okay, because what I understand from customer perspective, they are more of, they like to get pampered more than the getting the loyalty points. Okay, whatever customers I've seen, and I've been in stores, sometimes I visit stores just to understand how the customer sentiments are, how the customer behavior is, how is my tech is working. While I'm evolving tech, I monitor the customers also. What they focus more on, how is your customer service is. At the time of purchase, what is are you going to offer him? If you purchase now and you'll get XYZ on the next purchase, they won't tend to be less interested. And I'm talking about the customers who are age-old customer, even the customer who are like in 25 to 30 age also. Both are the kind of customer which I interacted, in my last 6 years journey in TVG or, operations. They are interested more in what I'm getting now. So all these customers are interested more in what is available right now on the plate.
Okay. Good. Thanks.
So
Thanks for that
maybe this
insight.
is for my industry. Maybe others can differ from that.
Amit sir, do you want to add anything? Well, how do you view loyalty program? Is this something that do you have a program, in your, brand? Is this useful, not useful?
Just like Puranji said, in jewelry, it is very difficult to run royalty program and get it successful. Many people started it, but subsequently backed out. If you think that in 2021, some customer was to me, I had given him one card and I have loaded some point on it. And today, if he comes, if I ask him, have you brought that card? Usko yaad bhi nahi rehta hai. So I will issue another one card to him for the loyalty points, and it's of no use at the end of the things. Rather than in our organization, we just like Puranji said, we pamper them in some different way. It's a perfect word, pampering, because they want to hear more from you how they are good and how you are happy to serve them, and how your business is getting more status with by serving them. So their status is more important rather than our brand. That pampering they care about. So in our organization, we gave them on the spot some offer card that like a cashback card. We have got fashion jewelry brand along with our main plain gold jewelry. PNGS Gargi Fashion Jewelry is our brand. So we give them that up to 2,000 rupees, 100% off. You can buy Gargi Fashion Jewelry. If he is buying say 2 lakh rupees, 3 lakh rupees worth of plain gold jewelry, on the spot itself we will give and will display reasonably well in the shop. If you buy 2 lakh and above plain gold jewelry, you are entitled for rupees 2,000 cashback on your purchase of Gargi Fashion Jewelry, and that too on spot. They like that on spot some discount or some counter benefits or some complimentary benefits, because carrying that card, retaining it and coming back with that card after 1 year or 2 years, because jewelry purchase is not a frequent event. And just for bullion purchase, nobody is going to give you any loyalty point. Unless you buy some jewelry, they are not going to add loyalty point. On auspicious day, you are buying coin or the Vedna or that kind of gold wire, all that kind of thing. On that, points are not there. Only if you buy jewelry. When you buy jewelry, some very big festival, some big occasion on your house, or the marriage, or some newborn baby is there, and for that felicitation is there, that time only you will buy jewelry. Otherwise, remaking of jewelry happens, but fresh gold jewelry buying happens on this kind of occasion. So giving that additional point, instead of that, if you give them whenever they will come something cashback on the spot, that means them a lot more than accumulating.
So that instant gratification you feel has a lot more value from a customer's perspective. Right. So just to slightly switch gears, sorry, somebody saying something?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to add on that. I agree with what was shared. The loyalty program, in our experience, it's shown quite mixed results. I think people kind of forget that they have that loyalty program account with us or anything like that. What matters more, like, allied to the pampering kind of approach, is it's more about having a relationship program with the customer. And so what we do is we try to make like some sort of exclusive opportunities to to meet and greet with the customer, or to kind of, before we launch a collection, we keep a private preview for the customers. So we invite them for that. This kind of approach, more personalized approach, is what seems to be more well received.
Yeah. So, some sort of a special treatment to reward these customers, for the relationship that they have with your brand. I think that makes a lot of sense. But again, staying with you, Suraj, you had a point, Pooraan? Please go ahead.
So, if you see what we are all talking about, we have to understand the customer, whether like what Suraj says, a special preview. I can call the customer for a special preview only unless I understand the customer. I have the data for that. Okay. And I see my buying pattern. Again, that's where the tech plays a role. So correct me if I'm wrong.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely good point. So Suraj, again, just maybe slightly different topic, but again, staying on the subject of technology, right? You have a website, kirtilals.com. I can see a lot of designs and jewelry, and it's actually a fairly big catalog, and even lesser items are there. So what is the strategy there? So are you looking at stores as being that real high touch, high level of personalization, made to order, for special occasions, etc. Whereas online is targeting a different kind of a segment, which is more affordable jewelry, etc. Things like that. What are your views on that?
So Sridhar, I think when we started our journey on e-commerce, I think one of the ways of viewing it at that time was to look at the e-commerce and an online presence as being an enabler for offline retail. Now, today, what we see is that whether it is e-commerce or it is the retail store, it is ultimately all merging in the middle with an omni-channel kind of approach. And we have to really maintain that consistency wherever the customer is, because today's customer is everywhere. They're 360 degrees, they're accessing things, and they're sitting in the store and looking at the website. So this is the kind of journey that's happening. So we've we've really gone about both the channels in a way that they have to be complementary to each other and they have to build on each other. So we have a strategy where we have try at home, we have try at store, we have all these different things. So it will be if you are logging into the website from a location where we are present in retail, then we highlight to the customer what are the products that are available for try at store, and this is also another way of driving footfalls to the store. As far as the price points are concerned, of course, we have to have a little bit of a skew towards lower price points online. But again, I think this is available in the retail front as well. So I think we've sort of tried to keep those two channels. Now it's coming to the middle in omni-channel.
Yeah, they're
So
kind of
it has to be-
converging. Yeah.
yeah. That's the
And
overall.
I think that makes a lot of sense, and I think it's quite consistent with what we've seen in many, other industries as well. Because at the end of the day, this whole physical channel and digital channel. I mean, to us as consumers, we have figured out ways to take advantage of these channels in whatever way is convenient to us, right? And we don't hesitate to use one, with respect to the other, as long as it benefits us in some way or the other. It could be convenience, it could be price, or variety, and so on and so forth. So I like the way you put it. Ultimately, it's sort of merging as a sort of this so-called omni-channel is a term that gets thrown around quite a bit. Uh, but I was also curious to know, and maybe Gopa Kumar, if you can address this. So there is a lot of information that you can gather online when customers come and click on things. They view certain products. They may even go to the extent of adding something to a particular shopping cart, and then they may decide to abandon it and then maybe visit a store. So there is a lot of information that you can collect online as they go through that behavior. Are you doing anything to maybe capture that and pass that on to the physical channel? Like Suraj said, if ultimately these things have to merge, there is a lot of intelligence that you're collecting online, but it's not so easy to collect similar types of information, in a physical format, right? But can I benefit from, that behavior online? What
Yes,
are your thoughts on that? Yeah.
It's easier to collect the information in one space, right? In the online space. So for us, I think online is more about discovery and experimentation. And while we are with marketplaces, it's and we largely do a lot of experimentation, what works, what doesn't work. You should also know that the average ticket sizes in the online channel for jewelry is in the range of 12 to 14,000 or so, whereas in a store it could be 5-6 times that, right? So and what we sell in the store is, while I said lightweight, low weight, all of that stuff, at this point of time we carry a lot of wedding jewelry and a lot of heritage antique kind of products. That is what really moves. That is not relevant at this point of time, wherein the online channel is less than 2% of the business, right? And mostly what is selling, and if you look at Amazon or the others also, 80-85% is bullion that is selling. And you ask any of the retailers here, Amit ji is all here, you don't make any much margin on that. Well, packaging cost itself does not sustain that, right? And you see all kinds of prices which are out of whack there, maybe just to get the metal moving, but that's what it is. But what we need to sell, and we are jewelers, we need to sell jewelry, right? That's important. And how do we market that very well? So in the online, more or less, it's a testing ground for us. We are learning carefully from all the marketplaces, and what is it that works for them. I don't know how much of category focus that they have. This is a very large category. Sometimes we feel neglected at that point of time, but it's a good ground for us to kind of see what is moving, spot those trends, get it into our NPI, that is new product development pipeline, and see how it moves with youngsters. We are looking at typically while we are profitable in the online space for the less than 2% business that we do, and that's important for us. We are a bottom line driven company. At the same point of time, we kind of bring in the assortment, see what works. Sometimes it doesn't work. Recently we launched some geometrical shapes it didn't work in the offline space, but it is working in the online space. So, so there is an opportunity there. Assortment needs to be curated very well. Omni-channel, while I have worked it in the food and grocery and the fashion business in the past, it is quite seamless. In the jewelry space, I think serving out the assortment to different pin codes where your stores are located and being very relevant there is far difficult task. And I think technology to help would be a great enabler. People who understand technology, how to drive it, and to get to that, again, like I said, the stock turn, relevance to consumer, all of these are very nascent areas. We are working on all of it. We have our hands full with the offline stores in any case, but we have a team for online who live and breathe online. Not necessarily an offline retailer taking decisions where the speed might be a little bit of a problem. So all of this is work in progress for us. But data insights, consumer insights is that we're working on. A quick take on the loyalty piece. I've run the first services program for ShopStop in the past as a brand manager. And I think in the jewelry industry, you should not look at it as an earn and burn kind of a program. I think it should look beyond tangible benefits to intangibles. It's very important that you build those privileges, build those services like, Mr. Suraj spoke about try at home, or, I think they have a customized jewelry platform that they have. Things like these, which add true value to the consumer, and maybe have that, kind of conversation with the consumers with very targeted kind of offers, which are very relevant for them. Again, to get footfalls back into the store. Jewelry is not something that you purchase every other day, like you pick up grocery every third day or fashion every 45 days, right? Jewelry, typically, if you can get 3 visits in a year, it's fantastic, right? So that's the kind of model if you can work on for each of the store and see, what does it take to, get that frequency going, and keep an eye on that burning of reward points. Reward points are meaningless. Amit ji, spoke about the cards which are there. I think card costing and all of that is not worth it. Customers are not going to carry so many cards in their wallet. So make it digital, make it easy, make it QR led, all of those things where you don't have to put a carding machine and things like that. So I think new loyalty should evolve in that direction and bring in that technology in a very meaningful way. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. So again, we're kind of, coming up on the, end of the hour. So one last question, I'll want each of you to address this. And again, this is a very important topic, especially for technology, vendors like ourselves, right? When we obviously come to you and want you to buy certain things, there is always a business case behind it, right? So how do you view this, making an investment case or making a justification in, it could be anything, for that matter, right? Buying a CRM, or you're wanting to revamp your online platform, things like that. What do you recommend, in terms of what are those key criteria or parameters that get considered when making a decision to buy or to not buy? If you can throw some light on it, that will really be great. Yeah.
So
you want to start with? Yeah. Okay. Pooraan, go ahead. Yeah.
Mr. Sridhar, so I would like to add over here. Again, what I've experienced now, I have worked with various software. So there are software which are good in e-commerce, like Adobe. There are software which are good in CRM. There are software which are good in lead management system. There are software which are good in XYZ things. What I understand over a period of time, like all the software in nutshell, they work perfectly fine, but they come up with a new problem. When you have data at multiple places, compiling those data and getting the business out of that data becomes difficult. What I understood in last 2-3 years, like you need to have a software which can perform all the tasks, whether it's CRM, whether it's lead management system, whether it's to collect the data and store and process the data from the website or from various different places or different sources, And if you have a good software which can become a center of your customer repository, okay. I'm not talking about ERP, finances, or anything. I'm talking about pure customer. Okay, no retailer can success if they don't have a proper customer information system. I don't call it CRM. I call it CIM, which will have a customer all that you're buying pattern, which will have your customer visits, which will have customer walk-in, customer interaction at various media places like social media, your feedbacks, your in-person visits, whether as Amit ji and Suraj said, like they go for a trial, in-store trial, at-home trial. So all this information has to be ready there in one place, so that when customer walks in, you should be able to understand what kind of customer is most importantly, what I see now, I don't want my customer service executive to understand the data. My software should give me, look, this is the customer, his preference is this kind of designs. He's a high value customer, low value customer. This is buying pattern and something which is so it becomes easy for my customer care executive to serve him. That's what my main requirement for the software.
Okay. Thanks. Suraj, what have you used? I mean, how do you make decisions in terms of investments into technology solutions?
So, Sridhar, I think, for us, the technology side and probably upgradation of the systems and all these things has been a large priority always. We've always felt that having that as a strong and constantly evolving piece of the business is very important to running the business. What we prefer is that we've seen that jewelry is a segment where somewhere it requires flexibility and customization into the software platforms to because I think every business is having a different need, and within jewelry the nature of the industry is there and the nature of the business is also there. So any software which is having a good amount of flexibility, and actually for us it's more not sort of like a buy or not buy decision, but it becomes more of a develop or not develop kind of a decision making process. So, we have an in-house team that works. So we prefer to have some kind of a collaborative approach to do this process.
Okay, great. Thank you. Amitji, what are your views? I mean, how do you look at ROI from investments in technology platforms and solutions?
If in case of technology, thinking about the ROI in advance is very difficult, because after the use, what is going to be outcome, one cannot predict or one cannot estimate. It's only the software service provider is telling you that my software or my app is so magical that you will increase your business by so much of percentage. You will get such kind of information which even God will not be in the position to provide you. So we need to listen it. If we are getting convinced, yes, it is useful to me, I should buy. Instead of thinking about ROI, I should think what exactly outcome I am going to get out of it and whether it is useful for making decision in the business for me or not. Just by listening and just by thinking with the fantastic promises, I should not buy any software. If those are useful to me, then only I should buy that software. In our case, instead of that CRM software and all these things, the customer behavior or changing taste of their liking or the designs and all these things, we need to take it from our normal ERP softwares also. That what was getting sold last year and what is getting sold this year, what was the non-moving item for the current year and what was the non-moving item for the previous year. If last year's non-moving item has become moving item for the current year, so it is showing that again that old fashion is coming as a new fashion. So all these things we need to take it from even from the ERM, because that inventory software is there. So movement is there from the inventory software, we can locate it. And from that also we can take out the results out of that. Yes, as Pooran exactly said, that exact result outcome, how I can get, that is more important, and that too out of my existing systems rather than implementing new system. मेरा जो भी आज का सेटअप है उसमें से ही मुझे चाहिए वो रिजल्ट कैसे निकल सकते हैं. And for that, if any tool is there, additional tool is there, that will be more important for me rather than seeing the ROI and all these things. That tools may get changed year after year. This year I may be requiring some different tool. Next year I may be requiring different tool. So instead of all sudden new technology as such, there should be new tools who are helping me to get the information out of my existing ERP.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Gopa, do you want to take get the last word on this? Maybe a quick take, and then I would like to kind of summarize with some key takeaways.
Yes. I think first of all, the jewelry industry is not so well understood. There are a lot of technology providers who come in with a lot of solutions, probably not fully tested also. It is pretty different to the other retail formats which is there, because you're dealing with the precious metal and the rate changes every day, right? So all of this for it, identifying the right technologies, and that can take some time, and many of them come with some partners, right? So getting that right implementation partner is so critical, because the technologies promises a lot of things, but then sometimes chasing the partner becomes a huge burden on the licensing cost that we are paying. So really that value equation and the partnership equation is most important when I am sitting and taking those decisions. Second, I see sometimes change management within our team itself. You can bring a great technology, but if you put in, let's say, garbage in, you're not going to get nicely minted gold coins on the other side. You're going to get garbage on the other side, right? So getting in people who understand, appreciate this technology. There is usually some resistance that I see, and we have done some ERP changes, but now it's good, it's settled, it takes time. So, that change management internally for people to understand and leverage technology to its full potential is something that we look at. An end result for me as an operator, I need more footfalls or more traffic into my site, and sales should be the end product or better service. That's really, if that equation is coming through well, that's great technology. You can continue to invest in it, and scale it up. And obviously, there are so many technologies, making them talk to each other is something for the tech folks to also figure out. So, that's my
fantastic. Thank you very much. We are pretty much out of time, so I just want to take maybe a quick minute to summarize. I mean, this was almost like a masterclass in the jewelry industry. First of all, I want to thank everybody for sharing some, real world insights based on your, day-to-day experiences, right? We talked about how the industry itself is changing. Many consumers preferring, lighter jewelry, maybe from an affordability standpoint, but also from a everyday use, move towards organized, jewelry industry, maybe because of the trustworthiness and the fact that you can shop with them across the country and so forth, and increasing use of, digital, platforms to at least cater to certain parts of the shopping journey, right? In terms of research and, price comparisons, or reading about opinions and reviews and so on and so forth. There is a lot of that research that's, moving to digital, even though the ultimate purchase may happen in offline stores, which again, stresses the importance of how, whether it's digital or physical, they need to ultimately converge and provide a seamless experience to consumers. And I think I heard a lot about personalization of service and how it really helps in increasing the ticket size. I think, Suraj said it almost goes up by 3 times, or was it you, Kumar? I think you said that. So I think that really underscores the value of personalization to a consumer. And I think, at the end of the day, consumer and data insights are very crucial. I think, and the fact of the matter is that there is a lot of data available, but how do you mine the data to get those, real valuable insights is again is a challenge and a problem, but an opportunity as well. The point about, I think, loyalty programs is very interesting. I think it's time to evolve from the traditional, earn and point points to something which is more meaningful from a customer's perspective, and not look at it from a brand's perspective, where you're saying, okay, if you buy something, I'll give you something in return, but rather adding a lot more value, based on their lifestyles and so forth. And I think at the end of the day, I think everybody agrees that technology is not a nice to have, but rather really a must have. But at the end of the day, the decision to buy a technology should be based on whether it adds real value and whether it is making real impact to the business, right? Is it improving sales? Is it helping me reduce churn? Or, am I losing customers? Is there a way to arrest that? And I think as long as there is a direct correlation between those technology solutions to some of these important KRAs, then I think, partners can work with, your industry to make that big difference happen. So again, I want to, just stop there. This has been a fantastic discussion. I want to thank each and every one of you, personally, for coming and, sharing your time and these, wonderful insights. Thank you very much. And thanks to RAI for organizing this wonderful session as well. Thanks, Hitesh.
Thanks, Sridhar, and thanks everyone to be part of this conversation. It is really insightful for me also, because I think I'm the only tech person in this whole conversation. But there is a lot to learn from me. I think I got a lot of things to know.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. It was very nice to connect and interact, and hope that we can meet in person at any of the upcoming platforms.
Sure, sure.
Thanks. It was a brainstorming. So thanks to everyone.
Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you all